Anthony Hartwig, Rick Sypert here with another episode of Running Wednesdays with Rick Sypert. This is episode 6 of our glorious venture into track and field this year. Coach Sypert with me. We are joined by a very special guest down below us. We've been talking about the Salem girls track team for a long time, and now we have 3 representatives from the Salem Quakers. Girls, I want you to go and introduce yourselves and tell us what grade you're in, and we'll get you started.
Okay. Hi, I'm Riley. I'm a senior here at Salem.
Hi, I'm Maggie Hopple, and I'm a junior.
Hi, I'm Maggie Hall, and I'm also a junior.
What we like to call Triple H, right? Triple H joining us. You guys are I believe, the first Salem Quakers to qualify for 4 different events down there in regionals. So congratulations on that. Coach, I'll let you take out the first question.
Now, you guys have like I think it's the best girls program in the area, whether it's track and field or cross country. You guys always do a good job. I think we saw you guys at the Ward Invitational earlier this year, and probably about halfway through the meet, I looked at one of my assistant coach and I said, I really think Salem girls are going to be a regional championship team this year. So I hope you guys prove me right this time with that one. So it's always good to see good teams and good performances down there. So what's the secret to success in Salem? I've been a head coach for 10 years here, and every single year Salem girls are loaded. So how do you guys do it down there?
Yeah, well, at practice, we work really hard. So when it comes to meet days, it's a little bit easier for us. And we really prepare for certain events that we're in. And I think that really helps us as a team. We focus on our individual events and then come together to create really good team events also. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think the coaching, it really helps. Teddy Hannick, our distance coach, really puts in the work for us and gets us going. Miss Glasser as well.
Yeah, I just think our girls know like their capabilities, and they have a good mindset going into the season, and it makes coming to practice a little bit easier, knowing that like you're not the only one working for something. So, yeah.
When we talk about building good programs, we always talk about the culture and the program culture that's built. If you guys had to define the culture in Salem girls track, how would you do it? How would you define kind of what makes you guys Quakers and what defines you guys?
I'd say just because we all want the same goal. We always can all depend on each other, which I think is really like cool. And yeah, like I said, we're all hard workers, and I think that's like the main important thing. We all want the same thing, and you can't find that a lot in most teams.
Yeah, I think that at practice it's very like we push each other to our potential, and we know everyone's goals, and we just want each other to be the best of themselves.
Yeah, I just think that on the team, all the girls are again working towards that same goal, and again, we just go into practice knowing that we have the capabilities to do it. So, yeah.
So what's it like this week heading into regionals? Like you guys are well represented at the regional meets. So like, what are some things you guys are going to do for like the daily routine? Like, do you have like a team superstition, or what do y'all do to get pumped up for this meet coming up here?
Honestly, just the same things we've been doing, like what we've been preparing for. We know we have to really focus in this week, and like we're really important on eating right, drinking lots of fluids, and like stay on top of all those things. But yeah, just what we have been doing at practice every day and the same like routine, I'd say. Yeah.
Yeah, just hydrating and just kind of getting more like focused in and ready.
Yeah, I mean, just working out at practice and like outside of practice, like getting good rest and just focusing in on the next meet.
Postseason always brings more pressure, but it feels like you girls haven't felt it at all. How do you handle, district meets, regional meets, hopefully state meets, and just handle them like every other day and not get too caught up in the lights and the stage?
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of pressure and it can get really nerve-wracking, but I think we all do a good job of like calming each other down and just like trying to breathe and think about it. Like, this is a great opportunity. Obviously we should be nervous, but like it's a great opportunity to take and like actually like a really good thing. So
Yeah, even though we've been there before, it's still, I think, pretty nerve-wracking every year just because you want to do your best and you want to show up for your team. But overall, I think we just, like, at the end of the day, we know we're going to give it our all, and that kind of just eases the nerves a little bit. You know you're going to get the best from your teammates and from yourself.
Yeah, I think we know like what's on the line, and especially like on a relay team. For me, at least, I know that I want to do like good for those other girls, and I don't want to let them down. So that can be like nerve wracking, but it also kind of just yeah. And then like for individual events too, you kind of just have to focus on each race at a time.
Yeah, you guys are pretty diverse athletes covering a lot of different events there. So everybody has a little bit of a different type of hard for what their events actually are. So when your events start to get hard and we're getting down to, the regional finals, obviously there's a time final for the 4x8, but even like moving forward to Dayton next week, like what are some things that you guys tell each other to calm each other down? Like, I know you said you're on each other's backs a lot, but like, how do you go through like the different event groups and make sure everybody's calm in those sense?
Yeah, they run kind of like the same events, but I'm kind of like different. So I'll go off and I'll do my own thing first, run my own events, and they're always on the sideline cheering for me. We're always just positive each other, try to like uplift each other, and then when we come together, we're all like focused in, but at the same time, we still try to give good words and everything to like calm our nerves before we run and everything.
Yeah. I think we try not to be too serious going into it because sometimes that gets in your head a bit. So I think it kind of calms us down just to be like a little more like relaxed a bit and just like more like uplifting, like okay, we like positive affirmations for each other.
Yeah, I think we just try to keep that positive mindset because running a lot of events can be tough, but it's nice knowing that like all of us are doing it, so we kind of like know what each other is going through, even if it is like a little bit of different events. We know that they're giving it their all in each of those events, so yeah.
I want to know how you guys balance this track sport that is obviously centered on individual times, but also very team oriented. So, how do you balance the team aspect while also trying to focus on your own individual races and getting the best individual time that you can?
Yeah, what Maggie said earlier, just like take one event at a time. Like whenever I'm in long jump first, I try to just focus in on that. And then when it comes to the team event, then like the relays, I'm all focused in on that. And yeah, just take one thing at a time.
Yeah, I agree with her. Just focusing in on what you're doing on that time and knowing that you'll give it your all on that one and you'll have even better in the next one.
Yeah, I would say I kind of just like also just trust in the training and know that I'm capable of running all of those events, and especially in those relays. I definitely like it's a different mindset because you're running for those three other girls, like I said, and then I kind of just try to like focus on each event at a time.
So what's the you guys are to saying the right things with the hydration this week, especially with it being in like the high 80s, low 90s. So I know you guys are probably pushing all the fluids you can this week, and you're probably eating pretty good too. What's your favorite like pre-meet meals, and like Saturday when it's all said and done, are you going to splurge a little bit for something else after the meet's over?
Oh, yeah. On Saturday, I remember because I don't like eating. Well, I have to eat. My parents make me eat, but like I don't like eating before race day because all doesn't make me feel too good. But probably like a banana and a bagel before. But after on Saturday, I went straight to Coach's, this place in Salem. I got a big pizza and some fries. So that's or a big burger after. That would be my post meal for sure.
Yeah, usually before I just eat like peanut butter toast, and it's hard to get down because of the nerves too. But after, I definitely we go out as a team sometimes, and we eat pretty good. Sometimes get some ice cream too, little reward.
Yeah, I would say like the night before I try to get like protein in like a steak or something, and then the morning of I also eat just like a piece of toast with peanut butter on it, and just try to drink a little bit of water with that also. And then afterwards, I would say it kind of just depends, but normally I'm pretty hungry, so I honestly could eat anything.
This is like such good affirmation. I feel like I'm like the only coach in the entire state that has kids that don't want to eat before and all that stuff. But you know, we settled on apples with honey and a little bit of salt with it, so you get electrolytes, good carbs, and some quick carbs as well in there. So we're trying to find all the good things that work for everybody as the season went on here.
Honey apples. I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
know about that. Never tried that one.
Well, like I said, you get a little. The honey's like a quick digestion, so you get that sugar in you real fast, and then the complex carb in the apple, so you replenish your glycogen, and then the salt. Yeah, yeah, it's always good.
He is a biology teacher, so I trust what he's saying. Guys, I want to know, when you guys get to represent Salem and you guys get to, wear Salem across the chest every weekend and every meet, what makes you proud to represent the school system and proud to be a part of such a great tradition-based program?
Yeah, like you said, just like the tradition of it, like through the past how many years, like Salem track has been like really great and really good, and so to be able to like still represent it and everything, and especially with my senior year almost over, I just want to like, it's really emotional because this is my last time to represent Salem, so yeah, I just want to make everybody proud and give it all I have out there.
Yeah, my older sister ran before me, so I like representing, kind of like she passed it kind of like down to me and kind of showed me the ways of hard work and stuff, and I just like, I know our coaches put a lot of time into us, so I want to represent for them as well.
Yeah, I think it's like nice knowing that like the years before us, everybody has done really well, and I think that there is a little bit of pressure, but I would say that if anything, like it helps because it gives me kind of a motivation to continue that, and yeah, just trying to continue that streak. I don't know.
That's awesome. I have a good feeling that you guys are going to do pretty well this week. So best of luck to you in that sense. So it's a grind to get from February even into the winter time with indoor track, and some people just kind of do it all year if they're cross country, indoor, outdoor. So I'm sure you've seen a lot of different workouts from start to finish during this season. What's some of your favorite workouts to do, and how about your least favorite workouts to do?
I'm a sprinter, so my workouts are a little bit easier than theirs. But I would say my favorite workout to do is probably 40-meter flies, because you don't sprint for too short, but it's like a good amount of distance to try to get your top speed. And then least favorite workout, probably the 7 100s we do. Those are never fun.
I'm trying to think. My favorite workout, probably the ones at the end of the year because they get really easy. We do like this one where we just do like 100 seconds, like almost all out, and then we take like a long rest and then do another one. And that one I kind of like because we get some speed in it. And then my least favorite one is probably, it kind of just depends on my day. Like, probably, I don't even know what my least favorite one would be. There's some hard ones. I can't lie. I don't know. What do you think, Mayhole?
I don't know. I would say I like doing 400 repeats, and they're not easy or anything, but like in my mindset, it's like, oh, it's only one lap, and then I'm done, and then I just have to do it again. But so those ones, like, I don't know, they're hard, but that's kind of nice that knowing I only have to do one lap for like each rep. But yeah, I don't know. As far as my least favorite one goes, yeah, I'm not really sure. It honestly depends on the day. I think that like if I don't feel good during a workout, any workout could be just really hard. And then any workout that I feel good on, it's obviously going to be a little bit better. So yeah.
Yeah,
I like how the
take note of that, coach. Distance runners like speed workouts. They don't like the actual distance workouts. You're like the next set of distance runners we've talked to, and they're like repeat Ks, and you could see the faces change for all the distance runners. But then they're like, we're going to go 4-2-2 today, and everybody gets excited about that one. So distance
Yeah,
is
it's just
not
a nice
fun,
little
no matter
change.
what you. Exactly. Yeah, it does depend on the rest in there as well. So it's all good.
So what we want to do here at the end, we do this with every player profile we conduct here on YSN. Want to give you guys the opportunity to thank your support staff, the people that have always been there for you, had your back. I want to give each of you the time to give out your shout outs, give out your thanks, and who you want to send a special thank you to supporting you throughout your whole career.
Yeah, obviously my family, my parents, they're my number one supporters. They're always rooting for me no matter what. My papa, he's a really big supporter of mine. Even though he can't get around that well anymore, he still tries to make it to every single event, whether it's raining, it's blazing hot. He's always still there. My grandparents, same exact thing for them. My sister, she's always there for me. Whenever I'm nervous, she always tries to calm me down and always gives me the best words of encouragement. And um, Hallie Cochran and Amy Cochran, they've always been there for me, especially in track. They're one of my best supporters also. And then obviously all my coaches that I've had over the years, they're all amazing. I'm so blessed to be able to have coaches like these that have believed in me, supported me, always been there for me, even through the ups and downs. And I'm just really thankful to be able to come across coaches like that. And yeah.
Yeah, probably my parents. They push me to be my best, and they always want what's best for me. And then my sister, she really calms my nerves before races, and I know that she's always rooting for me, and that even if I do bad, she'll be proud of me. And then my grandparents, my papa, and then probably my coaches. They always want me to do my best, and mostly Mr. Yohandic. He always is pushing me to get my goals and my times, and he's always yelling for me and telling me like if I'm off or on. And yeah, I have a good supportive system.
Yeah, I would say my parents too. I'm so grateful for like everything that they do. Just before I could drive and everything, getting me to practices and things like that. And then also my older sisters. It's just so nice having somebody who's done it before, so she helps me through like what to do before races, and like to this day I still ask her questions, even though I don't know, it just kind of like makes me feel a little bit better going into races when I have her opinion. and and our coaches are so great all around. So our coach, Mr. Yohannick, he puts so much time and effort into everything he does for us, like the training aspect and all of that. And honestly, even Maggie's parents too, they're always there kind of giving little pieces of advice that really help. And yeah, and my grandparents also. And anybody around Salem who kind of just like watches and keeps up with it is just like, I really appreciate it, and I'm sure these girls do too. So yeah.
And especially our teammates too. I forgot to mention that. They're always, that helps a lot in sports, because sports can get very difficult, and when you have your teammates around you that support you, that helps a lot. But I think we're all blessed with great support systems, which really helped us like get to where we are today, because sports can be very difficult, and when you have people to back you up, that really helps you succeed. So
yeah.
All right, girls, we want to thank you so much for the time. We appreciate it so much. We wish you the best of luck in these regional meet coming up, and we can't wait to see you again real soon.
Yeah, good luck, girls.
Thank you so much.
Have a good one. Thank you.
All right, the Salem girls track team being well represented. Triple H is what I like to call that group. They are representatives in 4 different events, and I've been told, I have not confirmed this with like Salem higher ups, but I've been told that they are the first Salem Quaker girls to qualify for regionals in 4 different events, all 3 of them in 4 different events for Salem qualifying for regionals. So that's an amazing feat. Coach, when you think about, not just qualifying for regionals in 1 or 2, but doing it for 4 separate events, can you put into words like how hard that is and how special that is to see?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of different variables that makes that very difficult. One, it's a competitive division as it is. D2 is exceptionally hard, especially with the events that those girls are running in. Two, anything can happen throughout this course of the season there. Little injuries here and there. People aren't feeling, like, as you heard them say, like, you aren't feeling your best every single day. So some workouts are harder than others just based on that. The same goes for racing as well. And then the hardest thing, I think, with what they were doing, it was hot last week. Last Thursday, when they were running the prelims for the district meet, on that turf and on the track, I'm sure it was pushing over 90 degrees. And like both of the Maggies there, they're running the mile, the 800, the 4x8, the 400. I mean, we're not talking about running 100 meters and being done. They're running half a mile, possibly 2 miles at a time there, plus your warm up and your cool down. I mean, that's no easy task in itself there. So, I mean, there's a lot of variables that make quadding at meets very difficult. Like, I personally, like, only do it if I know my girls are going to be able to. I only do it if I know my girls are going to be able to do it at a high level, because you really put the kids through that. And that, obviously, at this point in the year, there's nothing to lose. So, if they have the gas in the tank, send them out there and see what they can do.
That it gives us a perfect segue into talking about all the results from District Week. We have, as you said before we started, a lot of people going to regionals. There are a lot of qualifiers, a lot of great track athletes that have done their job in districts, and I want you to kind of go over the big results and who's going off to regionals this week.
Yeah, like last week was really interesting to see all the stuff start to unfold. I may have missed a few. I did my best to find every single YSN athlete I could with all the district results, but I counted over 105 relay or individual district champions from our YSN schools. So, I mean, we're going to be very well represented this week heading into regionals. I know Wednesday, there's going to be some eliminations with the district semis the regional semis on Wednesday and Thursday here. So that list is going to get cut down from our champions pretty quickly as well. So a lot of really good track happened last week. The Salem girls, they ran away with their district. The Fitch boys won their district. The Garfield girls won their district. The Lowville boys won their district. The Mooney girls won their district. And the McDonald boys and girls, they both won their districts as well. So again, we had a lot of district champions in terms of teams, and like I said, over 105 different district champions, and that doesn't even count the second places that got through, the thirds and the fourths that got through. So I mean, we're very well represented moving on there. The Salem girls, Maggie Hall, she was the champion in the 16 and the 800. Their 4x4 turned into 4 flat, which is a really fast time. Their 4x8 jumped off the page at me first. Their 4x8 ran a 9:45, and they were largely uncontested in that meet there. I think they won by over 17 seconds. So we're talking about a full 100 meters that they won that race by. So I'm really interested to see how their 4x8 fares this week there. Kaylee Carlisle did a great job. She was the champion in both the discus and the shot put. Maddie Gorby was the high jump champion there. And then Ava Littler was she was from Canfield, but she was the 100 hurdle champion from the Salem meet that they had over there. For the D2 meet that was in West Holmes, that's a little bit of Southern Ohio. Our East Liverpool athletes and our Beaver Local athletes did really well down there. The girls 4x1 from Beaver Local turned in a really nice time. Let's see here. Kaylin Kirby was the high jump champion. John Wilson was the long jump champion from Beaver Local. The East Liverpool boys 4x4 turned into 3:29. That's pretty good across all the divisions, whether you're D1 or D3. The 800 meter champion was Julius Jones from East Liverpool. He turned in a 1:57. So he's starting to cook there a little bit. Quentin Conrad from East Liverpool ran 51.6. I mean, again, a lot of good things were happening there in Southern Ohio. Moving over to the D2 district in Lakeview, there were a lot of good things that happened over there. That's the Lakeview teams, Niles, Gerard, our buddy Mia Melito. She was the champion in the long jump, the high jump, and the 300 hurdles over there. And again, like I said, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's her first year doing the 300s. And again, she turned in a 46-43. I mean, we're talking about somebody that's really moving there. Rowan Jenkins from Pie Valley was the 100 hurdle champion over there. Anthony Bengala from Gerard turned in a 40.70 in the 300 hurdles. That's absolutely starting to cook. Micaiah Simpson from Niles continued her dominance. She ran a 12:40 in the 100 in the finals, and then a 25:77 in the 200. I have a good feeling that we're going to be talking about her going to state next week here as well. Kennedy Grace from Champion was the discus champ. And then Morgan Haywood from Edgewood was the pole vault champion over there. Moving out to the D3 district in Ravenna, the McDonald boys and girls had another fantastic meet. All 5 of our throwers, coach, are moving on. So both of the Bundy girls, Shilly, Record, Zajac, they're all moving on in their throwing events. Ava Hewlett was the 100 and 300 hurdle champion over there. Lila Hayes from LeBray was the 100 and 200 champion over there. South Ranges 4x2, they were the champions for that relay. The Badger 4x2 on the boys' side was the champions there. Christian Davis continued to have his good season. He qualified in the 400 and the 200. Aiden Jones was the 200 champion. Joe Capozzolo from McDonald turned in a 10-10. He's starting to cook over there. The Badger boys sprints 4x4, they got out as the district champion. I mean, we're seeing a lot of good stuff from that crew as well. I'm really excited to see what those guys are going to do over at Perry this week as well. On the D1 side, Fitch boys put on a little bit of a show, as we expected from our chats last week. Braden Bryant, their freshman phenom, was the 100 and 200 meter champion. The Bourbon boys, we turned in a 7:57 in the 4x8. Those guys are starting to flirt with our school record, so I'm excited to see if they're going to be able to get out this week as well. The Fitch boys turned in a 42:60 in the 4x1. That's absolutely blazing. I'm excited to see how they go in the finals this week as well. Brock Ferris was the 800 meter champion. He ran away with it, ran a 1:54. Blake Baker from Campfield, 9:23 in the 2 mile. It was largely uncontested. That race was over after the first lap. So when we were talking with Baker early in the season, he's starting to put it out there. I think he's really determined to get down to state there. In the pole vault, Harrison Spalding from Fitch came back from injury, and he was the pole vault champion. Megan Vadis from Fitch, we had her on last week. She turned into the discus champion as well as the pole vault champion. And then Sarah Barrow from Boardman, she finally threw over 40 feet, and she became the shot put champion for the district. Again, D1, it's just going to get harder this week, so I'm really excited to see what all these kids are able to do on Wednesday in the prelims. In the Springfield district, the entire district is YSN schools, so clearly every single event was YSN athletes for the champions. Mike Malone jumped off the page once again. The United Boys Sprints, they had a great meet over there. The Mooney girls, they're 4x2, they're 4x4. Sophia Diorio won the 400 there. Sam Rotuno 46.73 in the 300 hurdles. That's fantastic. Brinsley Hiscox from United, she turned in another great meet. And then Ava Vecchione from Springfield, another good solid meet out of her. But I mean, that's a really strong district there. So they're going to start to mix it up with the McDonald group when they go over their regional meet too. So once all these like powers collide, only 4 get to come out this week, plus the 2 wild cards across the state. So, I mean, we should expect to see a lot of really good things. The weather looks fantastic. As long as all these kids are eating and drinking properly, I don't see any issues for any of them. But I know on the track yesterday, we were over 90 degrees on our track yesterday, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be hotter today. So I know that it's going to be like preparation is going to get kids through this one. Like a lot of scary things can happen out there if you're not preparing properly. Even sometimes when you prepare properly. I know like years ago we went down to the state meet, And there was a girl from St. Ursula's down in Cincinnati. Her name was Annie Heffernan. She was like one of the most elite distance runners I ever saw. She was doing the mile, 2 mile double. She came off the last turn in the 2 mile, and she was leading by hundreds of meters at this point in time. And she just kind of went off in space from dehydration and the heat out there. So even the best top tier athletes, you can struggle if, some of the things just don't hit you right that day. So hopefully all of our athletes are doing their jobs and off the track to make sure that they're able to do like the job on the track when it comes time for it.
You also saw a couple of athletes not just get into regionals, but also break school records on the way to do it. I know Taylor Dado from South Range broke a school record this week. How cool is it to see not only a good performance like that in districts, but also be able to say you got through districts with a record-breaking performance?
I mean, it's awesome. Like anytime you break a school record, it's amazing because you get to say, I've done something that no one in the history of this school has done before. South Range, they have a very good program. That I know they've had good coaching for years over there. So for Taylor to be able to say that she set a school record, I mean, that's an accomplishment in itself. But moving on is kind of the biggest deal. We kind of just say survive and advance. So you can run your worst time ever, but if you're in fourth place,
Right.
you still get to move on to the next round. So it depends what your goals are. Like times are always fun, but being a champion, that's kind of something that kind of they're both forever, but I think you get the idea there. The championship glory is kind of what everyone's going to be striving for.
I feel like you want to save your school records for regionals in a state. Save those good times for later on when you really need them.
I mean, if you're, it depends where you're at in your training.
Mm-hmm.
Like some kids, they'll start peaking like conference week, and then you can hold on to that peak for like maybe 10 to 14 days. So hopefully we didn't peak too early in some cases, but the coaches are good. I mean, I know these people are doing their jobs out there, and every athlete that's been on here, they've praised their coaches for the workouts they put together for them. So I'm confident that all these coaches know what they're doing and they're making their kids get to those points like
maybe
at the right times.
Maybe not praises for every workout,
Not everyone. Well, I know my girls, like I tell them today's workout is going to be 14 minutes long. Now on the surface, say, oh, we'll be done in 14 minutes. You think that's fantastic, but it's not. It's like the worst workouts that I have. They always hate when I say that today's a short workout or something like that.
It's a trap. It's a trap.
It is. It's a trap. Exactly. They're going to get beat up worse than they ever have. But, it's good for them. And again, like I said, we're cooking right now. I'm happy with what we have put on the track the last couple of weeks here. But like always, we're never satisfied with the results at this point in time.
It was interesting. Some of the Salem girls brought up that the workouts get a little bit easier when you get deeper into the tournament regionals. Is that something that coaches like to do? Like, hey, you know what? We're not going to push you as hard as we would in the grind of the regular season because now it's all about just making sure you're right for that regional meet. So exactly. Do your workouts get a little bit foot off the gas in the next couple of weeks?
Yeah, you want to cut back on the volume with your athletes at this point in time. I mean, basically, you want to make sure they're sharp and fresh. So maybe a month ago, your distance crew's doing a workout that's 12 to 16 by 400. That's a lot of volume, but you need that strength workout in there. I mean, at this point in time, if you haven't built that base and you haven't built that strength, it's kind of over already for you. So, for example, we had a 3-rep workout yesterday. A typical workout for my crew at practice is between 10 and 14, depending on what time of the season it is. So we went from 10 to 14 all the way down to 3, and that was it. So you want to make sure they're fresh, they're fast, they're happy, they're rested, they're eating right, they're sleeping right, they're drinking right, their mental state is where it needs to be. So this is the kind of time of the year where we're just trying to feel good and make sure everyone's just ready to rip it when you're out there. Because again, if you're not on your best, or even if you are on your best, you might not even get out of there. So you have to make sure you put everything you can into those races because tomorrow's not guaranteed at this point in the season.
Veteran coaches have had time to find out kind of what works best for their athletes and tinker on how they're going to handle these next couple of weeks. When you were starting, what were some things that you did to try to toe that line to experiment on how much you should use, what that volume should be going into regionals, and trying to experiment what works and what doesn't.
Well, I mean, you have to see how every year when we finish up, we look back at the training and we say what worked and what did not work. Okay. And you have to be honest with yourself. Um, if you have an ego that you're right about everything, you're probably wrong about a lot of things. So you really have to be able to look back and say, our speed workouts were good, but we ran out of gas at like the 350 mark in a 400, or the strength was there, but we just weren't fast enough this year. So it's really just about trial and error and observing things that work for coaches. I mean, the best thing to do is talk. And it's not like you have a secret that nobody knows about. I mean, there's more than one way to train, but like the most effective training programs are pretty simple. If you want to be fast, you have to run fast. If you want to jump high, you have to jump high. If you want to jump far, you have to try to jump far. I mean, it's not like rocket science with the fundamentals of the stuff, but it's kind of finding like the little nuances to get yourself there with all these different events.
Your students are going to be watching this interview going, why aren't our tests that easy? Jump.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
well. I mean, it's about like the way I teach my classes is they're very good at the concepts, and then we have to put all the pieces together to get like the applications of it together. So I mean, coaching's no different, and you could know more than any coach out there. You could be the best coach in the history of time, but if you can't apply it to athletes and you can't put the relationships together, you're no better than a coach that doesn't know anything.
How do those AP bio finals go, by the way?
You'll have to ask me in the summertime when those scores come out. I do have a pretty good track record of getting kids through. So, we'll find out. It's like July 10th, those scores come out. So we'll see.
Let's talk about regionals real quick. A preview of regionals, where every regional will be located, and then who you think are some of the YSN favorites to do really well in regionals.
The D1 and the D2 races are both at Austintown. The semis for D1 is Wednesday. The Thursday is the semis for D2, and then the finals are Friday, Saturday. And then for D3, they're going to go out to Perry. I'm high on the McDonald team. Both of the McDonald's teams, I'm really high on them. The Salem girls, they put on a show last week. I've been high on them the entire season. I know that the Fitch Sprints are going to be putting it together. I'm high on our Blake Baker from Canfield, Ava Littler from Canfield, Brock Ferris from Boardman, Sarah Barrow from Boardman. Let me see here. The sprinters from Liberty, Brookfield, they're going to put shows on out there. Ava Hewitt from Mineral Ridge, I think she has a pretty good chance of getting out there. Gerard Sprints, Mia Melito, she should have a good sparing out there. Mike Balone, those Mooney sprinters and hurdlers. I mean, we're going to be very well represented at the state meet. We're going to have a pretty long show when we start discussing who made it out to the state meet, and then we'll see how it looks when we're sizing them up to see who's going to go on that state podium.
We can't wait, Coach. When we come back with episode 7, we'll be talking about state qualifiers, and we'll be gearing up for trips to Dayton, which will be fun next week in episode 7. Want to thank everyone for tuning in to episode 6. Want to thank the Salem trio, the Triple H of Riley Hutton, Maggie Hopple, and Maggie Hall, all joining us today on the show. We love talking to those three, and we'll come back next week, do it again, with state qualifiers.
Thanks, Coach. Have a good one.